conversation with the pioneer of technical analysis in India, only on ET Now.
Hello and welcome to Technical Analysis. Now I'm sure many of you must have wondered when we were going to cover Elliott wave theory on our show. Well, there's no place better than right here, right now. And of course our show expert, Dr. C.K.NARAYAN, is going to help us figure it out on the charts. So let's start with the simple concept of Elliott waves. It's been developed of course by Elliott, but it was popularized by Robert Prechter, and it's based on a theory that crowd behavior basically ebbs and flows, just like waves on a beach. So in a strong uptrend, you will have strong waves in the up move, followed by small waves in a pullback, again followed by strong waves in the next up move, and so on. So there's this 5-3 wave structure, which is the most popular and it's best understood on a chart. And you can see it there. There are two types of waves. You have the impulse waves and the corrective waves. Impulse waves are basically in the direction of the larger degree wave, and the corrective waves are in the opposite direction. So if you're looking at the figure once again and look at the bigger up moves, you have waves 1, 3 and 5, which are the impulse waves. You have waves 2 and 4, which are the corrective waves. Similarly, in the down move, A and C are the impulse waves and B is the corrective wave. Now, this might sound a bit confusing, and let me tell you, it was very confusing for me when I went through the whole thing myself, but you know, we've got Doc here as always to make it all clear on the chart. Doc.
Well, that's a tall order that you're placing on me as far as the Elliott wave is concerned, because it is something slightly complex which we are trying to present in a simplistic format, but let's try and do our best. The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ABC structure is what we call as a completed Elliott wave. So Elliott wave is actually 8 waves in all, 5 in the direction of the trend, 3 against the direction of the trend. What Elliott said is that, you know, every achievement of man will be exceeded by the following generation. So it was Elliott's belief that, that the entire mankind is forever on a path of growth, which is why he said that the 5-wave structure will always be in the upward direction. But then that is at a very broad sense, but we can have 5 waves going downward also. You can have downward impulses, upward impulses. So let me show you this 5 and 3 structure on a chart here. Chart where I have marked out as waves 1 and 2, and then there is a rise, which is waves 3 and 4. And this is the 5th wave. So this is an uptrend, and this is a reaction to the uptrend, which is marked with alpha waves, which is A, B and C. So when you read A, B and C in future, in connection with Elliott wave, always think corrective. When you read the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, always think it is an impulse, or main direction and against the main direction.
Right. Well, the deep aspect of Elliott waves, and I mean that quite literally, is that there are waves within waves, within waves. So the 5-3 wave structure, which we just saw, is actually a part of the larger waves, and the waves are marked in a way that you can tell one from the other. And of course, there's a detailed theory behind this, which of course you'll see in a minute, and it will be actually contrasted to, say, the Dow's theory, where we've spoken about the primary, intermediate, and minor trends. That's what we usually talk about when we talk about technical analysis. Within Elliott wave theory, of course, it's waves within waves.
Yeah, the Elliott wave theory just takes the Dow theory and expands it out further. If I have to put it in some sort of colloquial kind of example, it's like painting a wall with that big paintbrush, or painting a canvas with those very thin, nice kind of brushes. So the amount of detail that you see on a painted canvas is much more than what you see on a wall, right? So the Dow theory and Elliott wave theory is something similar. The Dow paints it in broad strokes, so you got primary, intermediate, minor. Whereas the Elliott wave theory takes it in terms of degrees. So you have waves at a very high degree, which is called, let's say, supercycle, which runs across centuries, right down to the sub-minute, which runs across minutes. So these are all waves of different degrees. And if we hark back to the same chart that I had shown you earlier, where I had marked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and A, B and C, now I'm showing you exactly the same chart, but now you have all these smaller markings, right? You have this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is put into some sort of a blue circle, and then you have these numbers 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, which are part of the wave which we are now marking as being the wave 3. So these are minor 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which are part of the wave 3. So they are lower degree waves when compared to the blue circle waves. And within that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I have another set of markings which is also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So It's all fairly confusing, let me say, at the start.
It's very confusing right now.
But then there are so many 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's degree within degree within degree. Because it's like, the seconds morph into minutes, the minutes morph into hours, and the hours morph into days. And after a while, you can't tell the day apart from the hour from the minute. But while you're living through it, you experience every minute. Right. So it's like something along those lines.
We'll trust you on that, Doctor. Okay, so imagining waves inside waves, as you have seen, can be quite confusing, but think about it as a pattern that keeps repeating itself. More on this and the rules that govern these wave patterns when we come back.